it's Drew with Southern Yankee Innovations, and today I'm going to change the seals out in a hydraulic cylinder on a John Deere 4310 with a 430 loader. Start by loosening the hydraulic lines on the top and bottom of the cylinder. Just used a 5-gallon bucket to catch the hydraulic oil that'll come out of the cylinder. So there's a snap ring on the end of the cylinder. The best choice of tools to use snap ring pliers, but if you do not have a pair, you can do it with 2 flathead screwdrivers. Next, I pulled the pin out so I could move the cylinder to make it easier to work on. Just has a cotter pin in the bottom. Pull that out and then just slide the pin out. So make sure you protect the cylinder, and then with the snap ring removed, just drive the end cap of the cylinder in, and you can see an indentation inside the hydraulic cylinder. Just clean it out really nicely, and you'll insert the tool that comes with the cylinder repair kit, and make sure that the beveled edge goes inside and the thicker end is towards the outer part of the cylinder. I'm using a set of seal spoons to install the plastic. You have to make sure that the end cap of the rod does not hit or snag that plastic, or else you'll have a hard time getting this cylinder out. With the plastic installed, just try to ease the end of the rod out past the orange tool, and then just remove it. You can see the seals there. Orange tool in the kit lets that metal piece slide out. I install the end of the rod into the vise and use an impact to remove the nut. And this is where you want to have some towels or t-shirts or something laid out that you can remove and place everything on and keep it organized, so you can remove the seals and then install them in the same order. It just makes it easier to have everything organized and laid out and clean. Picked up these seal spoons on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Just remove all your old seals, and like I said, just make sure you remember the order and location each came off. Removal isn't as important as the installation is on the new seals. The inner seals are a bit harder to get out and just require a little bit more work. Once all the seals are removed, I use brake clean and clean it up nicely. These are the seal kit numbers for the tilt cylinder on my 4310 with a 430 loader. I install the inner seals first. They're the harder to install, and that way I'm less likely to damage the outers. On the end cap, you want to make sure that the pressure side would be facing out to keep all the debris from coming in, and then on the inner one, you'll install it that way so that way the pressure stays inside the cylinder. Some people put them in hot water to try to soften them up. I did not. It just does make installation a little bit easier though. Next, I moved on to installing the seals on the outer part of the end cap. Installing this seal, it will get stretched out a little bit, as you can see here, but if you give it a little while, it will shrink back down and seal up nicely. install this ring, it'll lay flat, but once you get it down into the void where it's supposed to set, it'll lay back out the way it's supposed to. Once all the seals are installed, I put some hydraulic oil on everything, and you can install everything back onto the rod in the order it came off. You'll want to put a type of thread locker on for the nut. If that nut comes off inside the cylinder, it'll make it a mess when you have to try to repair that next time. I'm not sure exactly what the torque spec is on this. I just made sure it was very tight, but not too tight. You can remove the plastic tool and clean the end of the cylinder. Just make sure you put some hydraulic oil when you go to reinstall everything, and just try to work it in gently, not to damage the rings. This is where having a second set of hands is nice, just to keep everything stabilized. So you have to line the metal ring up as you start to slide it in so it fits into the groove and aligns in the cylinder properly. And I just use a punch just to drive the end cap in. A brass punch is ideal, however I do not have one, so just make sure you're careful not to damage the cylinder. You can kind of see I did put a dent on the end cap, however it's far enough away from the seal not to damage that. And then I'm just using the seal spoon to line up that metal ring so it fits in the cylinder. And then you just drive it in so the snap ring fits back into its place. Reinstall the pins for the bucket. Reconnect your hydraulic lines. To re-grease your pin. Once that's done, you can function test it and make sure your leaks are gone.